This footage hides a dark secret. It was filmed on August 12, 2000, in Vallejo, California. The little girl at the window is 8-year-old Midsi Sanchez. She looks cheerful in her father's arms, surrounded by friends and family. But on her birthday, Misty's life would take a shocking turn. 12 years earlier, Amber Schwartz Garcia was jumping rope in her front yard in Pinole, California, when she was abducted in broad daylight. Despite years of searching, no strong leads were ever found. At 7 years old, she was presumed dead. Her body was never recovered. On December 9, 1999, 11 years after Amber vanished, 7-year-old Ziana Fairchild disappeared after witnesses saw her speaking with a man at a Vallejo gas station. A year later, she was still missing. For over 12 years, California lived in fear of a serial predator targeting children. He had already taken 8 young victims. No one knew where he would strike next. But on August 12, 2000, Midsi Sanchez became his next target. She would forever be remembered as the girl who escaped and helped bring him to justice. It's December 9th, 1999, in Vallejo, California. Midsi Sanchez is living a normal life with her parents and 3 siblings. Less than 2 miles away, 7-year-old Ziana Fairchild vanishes on her way to school. Police chase every lead with the FBI's help, but after months of searching, the case grows cold. Ziana is presumed dead. On August 10th, 2000, months after Ziana's disappearance, Midsi leaves for school at around 7:30 a.m. It's her birthday, and her mother, Susanna, is preparing a surprise party. By 4 p.m., Midsi's sister realizes she hasn't come home and calls their mother. After checking with teachers and friends, Susanna understands her daughter is missing. The family panics, calling everyone they know and searching the streets. Flyers are quickly handed out. Doors are knocked on, but there's no trace of Midsi. By August 11th, 24 hours after Midsi went missing, the sheriff's office gets a call from a landfill worker who reports finding bloody clothing in a truckload. Investigators trace the clothes back to a Vallejo motel, fearing the worst for Midsi and Ziana. Police search the landfill, but nothing else is found. Time is slipping away. On August 12th, 2 days after Midsi's disappearance, the sheriff's office receives a call from a man named Carl Tafwa. He says an 8-year-old girl jumped in front of his truck, claiming she had been kidnapped. He provides the license plate number of the car she escaped from. When asked her name, the girl says Midsi Sanchez. With the license plate given by the truck driver, police turn their attention to one man, Curtis Anderson. Authorities already know him well. The spot where Midsi was rescued is near one of Anderson's former workplaces. A colleague recalled Anderson once coming in to ask for a heavy-duty garbage bag. On August 12th, just hours after Midsi's escape, Curtis Anderson is arrested. Later that evening, Midsi returns home in her father's arms, welcomed by cheering neighbors and friends. While everyone celebrates her return, Midsi is clearly shaken by the ordeal.
To think a child that young was able to free herself and get away from this is just stuff that's stranger than fiction.
Midsi had her birthday party, but things would never be the same.
No one understands the nightmare she just went through. Her story begins on August 10th.
It was the day of my birthday party. I wanted to help my mom get all this stuff together, go get the cake, set up balloons. I didn't want to go to school. I asked my mom if I could just, stay home. But she said no. She wanted me to, she didn't want me to miss school. She wanted to surprise me, and do her own thing. So I went to school that day. Normally our routine was I would meet up with my brother right after school and some friends, and we would walk home together. But it was my birthday, so I wanted to get home. I couldn't wait. The bell rang and I took off.
Her house was only 6 blocks away, but that short walk would change her life forever. At first, she noticed a car parked on the street.
I started to approach the car. I just had this weird gut-wrenching feeling that something wasn't right. I remember making eye contact with him through the rearview mirror.
Until the man inside got out and approached.
Stopped me and said, "Hey, I need your help. I was in a bike accident and I broke my hip." He asked me to reach over for some duct tape that was on the floorboard of his car because he said he couldn't bend over, and so I did.
In moments, Midsi was overpowered, forced into the car, and driven away.
He covered my mouth with his hand, and I just remember kicking, screaming, trying to punch, but I couldn't because he was just too big and too strong. He overpowered me.
The man sped through traffic as Midsi sat frozen in fear. At one point, she caught sight of her own home, so close, yet impossibly out of reach. He pulled into a hardware store parking lot and handed her clothes, ordering her to change. Then he warned her. He had a gun in the trunk, and no one had ever gotten away from him. That night, he parked at a rest stop and covered the windows with blankets. He chained Misty's ankle to the gear shift and forced her to drink alcohol. He showed her disturbing photographs and took Polaroid pictures of her. Misty was trapped, powerless, and terrified. As he slept, Misty stayed awake, too afraid to close her eyes. Through a small gap in the blankets, she saw police lights flash across the parking lot. For a moment, she thought she was saved, but the patrol car drove away.
I thought, this is it. Like, I'm not going to see my family again.
On August 11th, the second day of her captivity, Anderson drove her around town, hiding her under a blanket. He later told her he had gone to her own home to collect flyers to help with the search. As hours crawl by, Mitzi's body begins to fail her, drained, trembling, barely able to stay upright. Starved of food and water, she's a shadow of herself. After countless stops, the man turns off the road, the city lights vanishing, and pulls into a lifeless industrial lot, a place swallowed by silence.
He unchained my leg and he made me jump over into the driver's seat, and he was standing outside of the car, and that was the moment that he raped me. My entire body went into shock. I felt helpless. I never cried in front of him. Although I was dying and breaking and falling apart inside, I wasn't going to give him that satisfaction.
On the morning of August 12th, Anderson drove to his former workplace. As usual, he left to buy alcohol and cigarettes, leaving Misty chained inside. When he returned, he dropped a set of keys onto the seat.
I sat there looking at the keys, and I saw little tiny keys that seemed like it would fit the padlock, and I picked one. It fit into the lock. And then as I twisted it, it opened. I'm in shock, like, oh my gosh. It unlocked.
She climbed out the window, weak but determined. Anderson spotted her and began chasing. Desperate, Misty waved at passing cars, but no one stopped. Finally, she threw herself in front of a truck. The truck driver stopped, and Misty scrambled into the cab, begging for help.
I jumped through his window.
As Anderson sped away, the driver noted his license plate and called police. For the first time in 2 days, Misty was safe. Within 10 hours, Curtis Anderson was in custody. But as Misty reunited with her family, another question remained. What happened to Ziana Fairchild? Was she still alive? Weeks later, the truth came out. Ziana's remains were found in the Santa Cruz Mountains. She had been killed the night she disappeared. In April 2001, Curtis Anderson stood trial. On the witness stand, 8-year-old Midsi Sanchez bravely told the court everything she had endured, with Anderson sitting just feet away. Her testimony stunned the courtroom and led to his sentence, 251 years in prison. But Anderson continued to taunt investigators.
It came in a written confession before his death in 2007. I, Curtis Dean Anderson, under no threats or coercion or promises, make the following statement. If there's no pursuit of the death penalty, I will freely admit my role in being responsible for the death of Amber Schwartz Garcia. The confession came 2 years ago. Chief Clancy says prior to hearing it, Anderson was not the target of their investigation. He explains why he believes Anderson's confession is credible.
He was in this area right at that time. On top of that, we put the overlay of when he was in and out of prison, what crimes he could have committed, what crimes he couldn't have committed.
Anderson gave his confession to FBI Special Agent Marty Park.
It was not within his best interest to tell us anything, which is one reason that we believe him.
Neither Amber's body or belongings have been found.
He admitted to killing Amber Schwartz Garcia and claimed he had kidnapped and murdered 13 more girls. Yet he refused to give details, leaving many families without answers. The case of Midsi Sanchez and Curtis Anderson reminds us that even in the darkest moments, courage can bring justice. Midsi's bravery ended the hunt of a predator who had haunted California for years and turned her pain into purpose. The lesson is simple: stay alert, protect one another, and never ignore the signs of danger around us. If you liked this video, don't forget to comment your thoughts and support our small channel. We're growing together, one story at a time. Thank you for watching.